Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Chris and Steve-O here.
Yeah, what's up?
What's happening, guys? I'm not even sure what episode this is, and it doesn't matter. We're just here.
It doesn't matter because it's our final episode. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but
It's our final episode?
our final episode. Yep.
Since when?
Well, the grass is greener on the other side. I found a better podcast, bro.
Guys, I'm caught off guard here.
Yep. No, this is not the final episode.
Absolutely not.
But,
we grind every day. Every
Both
week.
of us have had situations with people that we love, and today I wanted to, if you're cool with it, rap about that, about the grass being greener on the other side.
Absolutely, yeah. I definitely want to talk to that. We had talked a little bit about this before we came on today, and
Passionate discussion.
very passionate because I think it's near and dear to who we are and what we bring, I think, to the table as leaders.
Yep.
And it's important that we speak to this because this has happened and then this is going to continue to happen. And it happens in anyone who's a leader. It happens to them on a regular basis. But we are titling this segment, guys, "The Grass is Not Greener."
Yep, and this is your show. Like usually you lead, but I want to lead with where
You lead.
I have done it in the past to somebody.
Let's go.
Is that cool?
Let's go.
So we're going to talk about how it's happened to us repeatedly and what we do about it to get through it and everything. But I thought we're not perfect, right?
No, not by any means.
I'm far more
But
perfect
also-
than Chris. But
At least 50% more perfect than me. Yeah. But I will tell you, what are we perfect at doing?
owning it.
Owning it. Amen.
Is that where you're
when we're-
going?
Yes,
Yeah,
100%. We
We're
stand up, and if we mess up or we do something wrong, we own that. We own that shit.
Yeah,
We own that
100%.
100%. And that, I think, is where the maturity level of leaders come in. Like, I don't have to be right all the time. I will own when I'm wrong. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. Like, and the importance of owning it, which most people simply don't get, is most people won't own it because they don't want other people to judge them. Me and you, we don't. Give
I
a
don't
shit.
really care.
Yeah. So, but my grass is greener. I wanted to start this off just to say that, hey, this is not. We're not speaking at you. We're speaking, through experience. That I started in real estate. I went on the internet, right, or a trusted source, the internet, and found out, Coldwell Banker. That's my first brokerage. Best training on the planet on the internet.
So Google gave you your first job?
Yeah. So hats off to you for your marketing, right? But
Yeah.
And this is years and years ago. Like there's some awesome Coldwell Banker brokerages, right? And this has nothing to do with the leadership over there or anything. But I wasn't getting the training that I was looking for in the way that I was looking for to get it. Everybody's different,
Right.
But I went to Intero where I had phenomenal leadership, phenomenal training.
Yep.
I had somebody pouring their heart into helping me develop. But I was too young,
And immature.
Yeah. Completely immature. I didn't understand the value that they brought. So, and I'll say it now, because this may reach you someday. But John Miller, who ran Intero,
Met the guy, really good dude.
you did meet him?
Yeah, I went up there and gave a presentation at your Intero office. Up in the
Oh
Foothills.
my
Yeah.
goodness, that's right.
There was
Yeah, that was
probably 25, 30 agents up
That was
there.
like 50 years ago.
It was a long time
Yeah.
ago. It was before the gray hairs.
But hats off to John because he, even today, like I can call him and talk to him and there's no hard feelings or anything. But John poured his heart into me, and I didn't understand the value of that training because I just wasn't ready for it. I wasn't mature enough. But I do appreciate him now, and I did leave that brokerage to a boutique. And what do you think happened? Did I get that level of training at the next brokerage?
100% negatory.
No, not even close.
It wasn't even in the same ballpark.
Nope, I got a better split.
That's what you got. You left for what you thought was better for you financially.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when you leave because you think that there's more money where you're going, you actually end up making less money because there's such a significant benefit to where you're at now and what the training provides and offers that will get you past where you're going to go for the short term. So in the short term, okay, I'm going to make a couple bucks more an hour or whatever. Great, but you're not going to get near the support, near the training, near the leadership that you get. You're going to kind of be left to do your own thing or figure it out on your own. And we both have the same experiences throughout our career. Probably me not as much as you because mortgage is a little different. When I've left, I don't ever leave anywhere for money ever.
Right.
That's never my motivation.
That's maturity.
But that, yeah. And I think that that's most people who do leave. It's always a money situation. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to make more money at this place, or somebody's throwing some extra dollars my way. But so let's talk about what we were talking about in the office earlier, is that, if people actually sat down and wrote down before they make a decision, a big decision in their life, and they wrote down the pros and cons, right? We know that making emotional decisions 99% of the time lead to a reckless decision, right? So,
I'm gonna punch them in the face.
Yeah, like, it's okay, be emotional. Some people are more emotional than others. That's fine. I've had to learn to deal with that over the years with people, because I'm way less emotional than probably most.
You're heartless.
Yeah. And so, but I'm learning, see, right? Because, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in the segment, is I'm learning that, it's okay to know where you need to grow. Know where you need to grow and aspire to grow in those areas. And so that grass being greener, it's like, I've seen it over and over and over again. And both of you and I have experienced this, and people that we've given an opportunity to in this business, in your business and my business. And we've mentored them, we've coached them, we've given them an opportunity to create a life that they would never have been able to create in their current situation, right? So we took them out of their current situation, gave them an opportunity to change their life. Let's just say what it is. It's changing your life, and in multiple ways. Like, so for us, like, I always talk to loan officers that we bring in, and it's like, your life will change monetarily. That goes without saying, because what you can do here is that's the easy part. That's the sky's the limit as far as what you can earn, your earning potential, right? That's just how hard you work. Okay, but how am I going to change your life, right? Here's how I'm going to change your life, not just monetarily, but the freedom that you're about to go and get you're going to have a management team that is like, hey, from a loan officer perspective, let's talk about loan officers, right? You're at a 9 to 5 or clocking in every day. Yeah, you're taking a huge risk going from that guaranteed paycheck every week to now it's commission only. But guess what? Your lifestyle has changed. You're going to spend more time with the family. You're going to be able to come and go as you please. You're going to be able to get out and build relationships, long-lasting relationships that you can't do when you're sitting at your desk every day, right? So there's a huge the lifestyle change is not just money. It's not just money, and you're going to be able to attain access to leadership and people who are extremely successful in multiple areas of life, not just financially, but the way that they pour into your life and feed you knowledge. And so those are things that you don't get everywhere, and as leaders, for you and I, what we do is we want that for people. We want you guys to grab a hold of the opportunities that are here. And we do require a lot. Like, we do expect, there's expectations that, you have of people, like, hey, you got to work, you got to do this, you got to do these things, right? If you want to get to $500,000 in income or $1 million in income or whatever it is, you have got to at least do these minimum things here, right? And
it's like, that hard.
It's not, dude. It's not. And one of those is submitting to a growth process, right? Submit to a growth process, and which goes into kind of what we were talking about next. Like,
okay,
yeah. Yep. So both you and I in our careers, and you're a little bit older than me. And
not that much.
I said a little, a little. Is we both have coaches. We have coaches, dude. You have like 12 coaches. I've got like 5 coaches, and I get coached, and I love it. Like, I look forward to, like, hey, help me be better. Help me get. So I'm not, in 20 years, dude, I'm gonna look back, and I'm gonna be like, because I submitted to coaching, because I was mature enough to say, hey, there's areas of growth I need to experience and want to experience. I'm going to get to the levels of everything in my life, like relationships, financially, like everywhere I'm going to be is because I'm submitting to multiple coaches that are like, hey, follow this path and you'll be here. Do this, be this person, and you'll get here, So talk a little bit about your coaching experiences and what that's done for you in your life.
Yeah. So first of all, I hire the best coaches so that I can do what I do best. I'm a master ripper offer. So I get, if I'm struggling in relationship or, even in the church, like, if I'm studying, I'm in groups with the guys where we just break down, scripture, if it's business, if it's money, if it's sales, if it's, all the different pieces. I want the best of the best to show me what they did. So that I could avoid doing what's wrong, what they did wrong.
Yeah.
And then ripper offer. I'm great at that. That's what all my success is.
Plagiarism at its finest.
Yep. And then I pass it on down to my crew,
And honestly, that's what our coaches do. They take a little bit of their life experiences, things that they've done, and what they've done well, and then that areas that they've failed in, and they take those failures, because we talked about that a couple episodes back about failures. Like, you're going to fail. They take those and they show you this is what not to do, right? Yep. So, and then it takes you and I and anybody else with a level of maturity to be like, this is great. Like,
I'm not that mature. I still do it wrong sometimes.
Well, you're mature enough to accept the coaching, right?
At least own it.
Yeah, own it, right? So, coaching is a great thing, man. And I don't think that, there's a place in life. I mean, maybe when you're like 80 on hospice, where you can be like, okay, I'm good with, I've arrived. I don't need to be coached anymore. There's a point in your life where I feel like it's always good to have people speaking into your life. And I say that for me too. I mean, there's areas, that I've grown, just because, I mean, we talked about our background and the ways that we've grown up, like, I just simply don't give a shit. And that's an area that I've had to grow in. Right. So my coaches have had to be like, hey, you've got to care a little more. Like, you've got to have a little more care. And, for me, I find that when you care, people just piss on you, and they, and it's like, so it's like, don't care, because then you can't be hurt by anybody's actions or what they do. You just like keep trucking and keep rolling. And I've always been of that opinion that, like, put a brick wall in front of me, I'll go right through it. I don't care. Like, you're not going to hurt me. And it's been nice because I've softened up. I mean, I'm still rough, but like, I've softened up, if you know me, like, 5 years ago, even, to where I am today. I'm a lot softer. Like, and so what constitutes that, or where did I get those results? That came from me hearing feedback from my coaches, who, if I've asked, speak into my life. And I've said, hey, you have this platform, speak into my life.
I've paid.
Yeah. So, and I don't say that, like, here's the thing. And I go back to this. It's not always, hey, speak into my life so that I can be rich. Like, there's areas of our lives, each and every one of us, that we have to have people speak into our lives that see things from a different lens. And I always talk about this in my relationship. I'm always like, hey, like, we got to try to look at things from another lens, right? And that's what coaching does. Like, it's like, okay, I only see things my way, which,
because that's the right way.
And then it's like, okay, well, and there's times where I'll give my coaches a little bit of pushback and say, well, what? But I won't do it disrespectfully or rude. You know, like, I honor their position in my life, and I'm like, so what about this? What if I? And so I just think it's good for us all to, in life, like, have some mentors and have some people that, will coach us, and that we're mature enough to say, hey, yeah, these areas I need to grow in.
What's a game changer for me was recognizing that coaching, a great coach doesn't have to have a certain number of years in the business. They don't have to be a certain age. They come in all forms. I've got, a young, brand new agent that Angel.
Angel is incredible.
Yeah, dude. Angel coaches me in a lot of ways in different things.
He's a rock star.
He is, man.
He's a rock star.
Yep. So but I seek it. Like, I'm looking for, what can I learn from each person? Each person's got their own life experiences.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's the thing. Your coaches don't have to be these older and wiser. I mean, there's like Angel. He brings a younger, newer, like, way to do things, and like, it's not like, okay, well, at the end of the day, we have to recognize that life changes, things change. I mean, we're in a technology era that, like, you and I are dumb as bricks on. So, like, it's like, I think about it with our guy Andy, who works for us. He's the dude's. I learn from him, and I ask him stupid questions all the time. Like, I asked him one yesterday about our YouTube channel. I felt like an idiot. I was like, what are these videos on the side of this? It's like, oh, that's just because this. And honestly, he said what he said, and I still felt stupid because I don't know what he said. But,
I don't even know
but
what he
like,
said.
he brings such a value to that, in the sense of like, dude, I'm learning from you. Like, I probably will never ever implement these types of things because that's not my lane, right? And I also believe in staying in your own lane. But that's a good. It don't matter what age. I mean, Andy's probably 8 years younger than me, 7 years younger than me,
at least.
Yeah, but he's got that knowledge, and I respect that knowledge, and so I'm like, you know, you can add things to my life. You can, you know, and I don't. There's no pride there at all. So
Andy's my coach in Muay Thai too. Me and him go to random bars and fight people sometimes.
135 pounds knocking dudes down.
He's a bad man.
I love it. So yeah, that's let's go back real quick to the grass is not greener.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really get into too much depth on that, but both of us have spent a lot of time mentoring people and helping people and giving people opportunities. And then they, you know, for whatever reason, they don't take the time to process a decision, and they make an emotional decision and realize later on down the road. And I just ran into this recently where I've talked to a person that, you know, that I had given an opportunity in the business, and they, you know, thought there was a better opportunity elsewhere, and they're like, yeah, that's the grass is not greener. And you know, you know, you want people to not make you know, you want people to not make an emotional decision, but you can't stop them from making one, right? So you have to let them realize that grass is brown, and you know, it's not, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And you know, we talked about, like, from a leader perspective, you know, I was talking to you a little bit about years ago. You know, I was at a lender, and I was running an office, and you know, it was the rest of my team was just not, they weren't happy, you know, and yeah, there were some struggles there for me, but I was fine. I can get the work done that I needed to get done. I wasn't burning bridges or losing any relationships, but my team wasn't happy. So as a leader, I had to be like, okay, let me look for some opportunities that would help everybody in this office. And so, you know, I did that, and I uprooted my entire team, went to a different place, made big changes, had to find an office, that was all on me. Nobody helped me do that. Like, I had to build the office out, deal with all that. Everybody just got to come and plug and play, and their life didn't really change from nothing. But guess what? I led my team to a better situation for them, and I put my own desires and wants and feelings aside and did that, right? So, you know, and what does that do? That ends up backfiring on me down the road later, you know? But
it didn't backfire on you.
It didn't backfire on me. It backfired on
You're just fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm always good.
So it just feels that way in the moment.
It feels like that in the moment. It feels like that in the moment, that it's like, dude, you give, and then it's like,
understanding though that entire team has never led.
Well, so and that's the thing.
They don't know what you give or what it's supposed to be like. They only know
excellence. They never know behind the scenes. One thing I was like, you guys have no clue behind the scenes.
Now they do.
Yeah, now they do. Well, you know, essentially, you think they do. Some just continue.
They learn. Yeah, I'm not saying they made the adjustments that you would make, but that's the thing. You know, you're going to learn it one way or the other.
Yeah. So it did take me, you know, it took me quite a few years of pushback on coaching. Like, I don't want no one talking to me and telling me nothing, to finally realize that, like, when I started, it's like, remember how we talked about a couple episodes back, like, if you're a 4, you always have access to a 5. If you're a 5, okay. So it took me, you know, when I started realizing these people that were killing it in my industry were being coached, and I'm like, why are you being coached when you're making like $4 million a year?
Yeah.
Why are you? What is there to coach, right? So once I realized, like, wait a minute, these guys are literally like, what? You're making ridiculous money every single month, and you're still submitting to coaching? Like, okay, Chris, get your head out of your ass and be like, okay, there's a value in that. And ever since then, dude, it's just been like straight uphill, like a Learjet taking off, and it's been awesome, you know. And you really see the value in that, where it's not someone telling you what to do. It's like, I mean, essentially it is, but it's more of they're championing you to get to where they are, because they want to see you succeed.
And we're at that place now, but once you get there to where you made it for yourself, you're looking at ways to add to others. So, you know, why coaching? My decision was easier than yours, because my gift is I'm a master ripper offer. So I'm like, okay, everybody successful has a coach. Who's coaching them?
Is that something in your sleep that was like in your dream God spoke to you? Is like, hey, my gift that I gave you, and you're the only one, in the entire world that has this gift because it's not biblical. You are a master ripper-offer.
I am a master ripper-offer, yep.
Yeah.
Well, I tried all the other things that I thought I was gifted at, and I was wrong. But what I am very good at is saying, okay, who's doing what great at a high level? How are they doing it? What are they doing? Who's helping them get there? And then I just do that.
Yeah, and that's the key, and that's the goal to getting to the next step in your life, the next level. And it just, like I said, it goes back to maturity. I mean, who I was at 23 years old or 24, 5, 6 versus even my mid 30s, and now I'll be 40 in 2 weeks. Like life changes so much, and you experience so many things, and so you learn to. You can do. I always say you could do one of two things. You can learn and grow, or you can just stay where you're at, and you'll be where you're at.
Or worse. I don't think anything stays the same. Like you're growing and getting better, or you're getting worse.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think like you and I have the same heart. We want people to like. I don't care. We talked about this, in one of our other podcasts that, like, if you're a person that likes stability, right? Like you don't.
Ugh.
Yeah. Like if you're good with that, you're good with stable. Like I like that stability. My paycheck is this every single 2 weeks, and I'm comfortable with that. That's awesome. Like I will champion you in that, and then let's help figure out how to make you the best version of that you can be. Forget from a monetary standpoint. How can we take you in your current position and make you an even better person in that position? How can you become the most sought after person in that position in an entire company? Forget that you can't. Okay, your rate is your rate or whatever. You're happy, you like that stability, great. Like let's make people in the company talk about, man, what is this person doing over here? Why are they like? I want to talk to them all the time. That's what you should be. You should always be looking to be like, okay, I want to be more attractive. I want to be like, I want to grow. I want people to be like, dude, I'm sought after. I'm the most sought after mail delivery person there is, like
I was good.
Yeah, I was good. I was hitting all the spots on time. That's right. Your mail's never late with Steve McCarthy. Yeah.
Your dog might have got punched.
But I think that's the thing is we talked about this a little bit, and maybe we'll talk about this in another segment in more in detail, but I'm very particular on who I'm putting in my life, right?
Yep.
So if you're not adding to my life, you're not in my life. And that's a very important thing for people to do is make sure that the people that you do put in your life are adding something to your life, because there's nothing worse than like putting people in your life or allowing people a place at the table and they suck all of the energy out of your life and they're not adding, they're not speaking into your life. They're pissing on the fire, not throwing logs on it.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's a very important. I say that to anybody out there listening is, do not give a seat at your table to people that don't add value to your life, because you can mentor people and you could coach people, but not everybody has to have a seat at the table. You can love everybody and you can pray for people and you can want good for people, but you cannot force that. So the seats are limited to the people who are there to add value and bring something to the table.
A problem though too that exists is our table's growing rapidly. And Andy Frisella, you know who that is, right?
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh, man! You know 75 Hard?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the
guy, the
cat that wrote that.
Oh,
He's got a phenomenal podcast too.
Got it.
Not as cool as ours, but it's pretty awesome.
It's not as cool.
Yeah, but he had said something on one of his episodes that really rang true, and that's did we leave somebody behind? Or did they choose not to come? They choose not to come.
Yeah.
So as we're growing.
So that's the thing. It goes back to the mindset shift, mm-hmm. right? Like stop thinking about, I left these people behind. Like I have a lot of people in my family that for years, I mean, they're just like, Chris just, man, he just lives this high life. He has, he's all about the finer things in life. He just has all these, it's like, and it's almost like an envious, like, and it's like, dude, you guys can have whatever you want in life. Mm-hmm. Get on the train and start doing it. Like, I'm not leaving you behind. You're just not motivated enough to do what it takes, right? And so it's like I stopped thinking about, I'm leaving people behind a long time ago. Like, my train is moving at like European light speed trains. Like I'm like,
I got room for you.
Yeah, it's moving quick, and so there's room. You just better get on quick because you know, we talk about like the rest of our life. You know, 20 years, that is not a long time. Like that crap goes by fast. It goes by fast. So I don't have time to be on a locomotive that's moving at, you know, a coal engine speed. I want something that's like, you know, Elon Musk electric speed. You know?
I don't have, statistically speaking, 20 years left. I only got
got 120.
Yeah, so like I'm not playing around.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the reality of it is we want to see people get on the train.
Yeah.
Get on the train. Like because, you know, that just means our vacations are cheaper when we split it with we got the group
Get
going.
on the train.
This trip's $100,000. Well, you know, you split that between, you know, 10, 15 different people, it becomes a lot more affordable, right?
Heck yeah.
But guess what? We still going to take that $100,000 trip regardless.
I'm still going to be on the train.
I'm going to be on the train. I'm going to take that trip.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah. But this was a good segment for me and for you, just from talking about what people are, you know, what we're seeing out there and how people are responding. And it's like, we can't always be worried about what other people are doing, right? Like we just have to continue to do what we do.
Yep.
And there's a seat at the table for you if you are coming with some value. So, and in that you get access to everything that we have access to.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. And that's
grass is still green over here, dog.
I'm watering every day. I live on a well. We don't have to worry about a drought.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
Just shut your water off.
Cool. And they do too. They micromanage every second that you use the water, and we're out of seconds on this podcast.
We are out of seconds on this podcast. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.